You see the sequoias burn?
Oh no, that's kind of cool. I don't see those burn too much, but there's some that like the tops burn. So they have what they call a sea faller, which is I forget the diameters that they can cut down those big sequoias. So this chain, I forget I used to have a picture of it, but this thing was like this bar was taller than me.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Clink.
Clink.
Happy New Year. Happy.
Happy New Year. It's not the new year.
Oh.
This is like September. It's fun. I guess it could be a new year. It's a new academic year.
It's a new podcast year. I don't know how many episodes we are past the one, but we like to look forward. We're on year 2 of this thing, this great adventure, this wandering of ways.
Yeah, we've wandered into another fall here at Wandering Ways.
I'm surprised we're still, after everything we've been through, we're still kicking it here together. No, I'm just kidding.
We haven't been canceled yet. They haven't gotten us quite down yet.
We don't have that many views to where they would even bother. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are great. We appreciate every single one of you that do listen, from Ohio to Maine to Florida to Alaska to Hawaii to international.
Yeah, we get kind of people everywhere. That's what's awesome about our wanderers. Is we do have a following in other countries.
Well, we're all wandering this planet together, And
I was just about to say like the same thing. We all wander around,
right? No, and it's great. We've gotten into the forests. We've gotten into some fun activities. If you're keeping up on the social medias, which we hope you are, definitely that's where you're going to see the action firsthand. We try. I mean, we force ourselves to go into nature so hard that, like, I swear to God, there'll be times I'll come home here and literally I'm recording in my office. I assumed once I built a home or got a home that I'd have my own little office that I could theme towards my podcast, but I've been in my makeshift one for about a year now. And I'll go lay down on the futon back there because I'm just so wiped out from, the trips we've gone on. Because we go hard. And I expect nothing less, because if you really want to maximize your time, you have to force yourself to do that. You just have to.
100%. I especially, I work such a crazy schedule, especially this fall. It's probably a crazier fall than I have most. So I'm like, when we're recording this, we're trying to backlog a bunch, and I'm just like, all right, this weekend I got to do this. This weekend I'm going to do this. This weekend, this is kind of my last weekend. Like, I'm getting tired. But I'm like, this could be it for a while. So, like, I can't hit that pause button this weekend. I got to go.
You know what? Exactly. Because that pause button is coming.
Yeah. The adventure pause button's coming. It's coming real quick for me.
I feel that. You're gonna be stuck to us, good old Ashland, Oregon.
Yeah. And by the time you guys are listening to this, your pause button may be coming up too. It is fall is coming around the corner. The weather is getting cooler. It just means different adventures, to be real honest.
See, and you're right, because I look at the fall, I get to go hunting out here in Montana, and I love hunting because not only am I, providing food for those, Matt, and you and my other friends who enjoy my deer meat. I'm not a big venison person, but I'm a big believer in eating the food you hunt. So there's people that
keep the liver for me this year.
Okay,
I want the liver.
What about the heart?
I'll take the heart. I have a liver recipe that I want to try. I don't have a heart recipe. Maybe I'll have to look something up. I want to try more organ meats. I've heard they're really good for you. So
and out here in Montana, I'll get you a nice fresh deer.
Yeah, I told Matt same thing. When it comes down, he's gonna go hunting this fall too. And I said, I want if you're not gonna give it up to anybody, I'll take it.
He's not let's just be real. He's not going to get anything hunting.
Hey, I believe in him. I believe in Matt. He's gonna get something.
The preparation isn't there.
I believe he's gonna get something. You have to be so pessimistic over here, you know.
No, I have to throw cheap shots because, he's one of those guys that doesn't listen to the podcast, but acts like he listens and talks about the podcast as if like it's going somewhere and like the directions he's wanting to take it, which is great. No, he gives great feedback. Don't get me wrong. Great guy, great interviews. Awesome. We love doing adventures with him, but he's not listening right now. So gotta just say, hey, he's not getting one hunting this year.
If what we'll do to mess around with him, if he doesn't get any this year, when we have him on again, we'll have the tagline for the episode title. It will be like, with vegetarian Matt Buddy.
Right. Well, and I told him, I said, come out to Montana. You might not be able to shoot the gun, but you can come along for the experience. I'll give you some of the meat. Like, it'll be a fun time. There you go. There, first class delivery right out to Oregon to liver.
Yeah, I really want. I want to try some Oregon meats, and it's hard to find good quality Oregon meats. They have it. I've seen it here at the stores, but it's like frozen, and I'm like, I really don't know how long that's been in that spot.
I could also mail it real quick.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of, if you get one, I would love it because I'd love to try some Oregon meats.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk more in depth. But today we got something that is great for our guests. I'm super excited to talk fire because it's in the news. It's in the headlines. It's that time of year. It was a hot summer, so stuff's on fire. Whether you're in Oregon, Montana, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Idaho, Washington, Alaska, you probably had fire. Canada.
Yep.
And it's fun to talk about because I don't think we're as educated in it as we can be.
No, definitely not. No, today's a super awesome one. We got Ray on. He fought fires for, it was 9 years.
Yeah, and the Mescalero hot shots, the red hats back in the day is what they used to call them. He's a great guy. He's an uncle of mine. Good one to have in the family. Good storyteller. Definitely has seen a lot of the country. Has seen some beautiful places, seen some remote places, and put fire out. Like he said, seeing the sequoias was kind of crazy.
Yeah, 100%. But anyways, no, this one is an absolute treat of a interview. We could have probably gone for a lot longer easily in this one.
And the best part is we probably will. We'll bring him back. We'll talk more fire with you because we know there's always those dummies out there starting fires and not listening to the Wandering Ways podcast. And, take those fire restrictions seriously. The people getting paid to change the sign are getting paid to change the sign for a reason. That's your tax dollars telling you, hey, don't light up an engine today. I'm sorry. It's not that important. You don't need to go dirt biking. You don't need to launch a firework.
100%. But yeah, no, anyways, we're just going to kind of jump right on in. So, without further ado, let's bring on Ray here. All righty. We are back again with another wonderful guest. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty excited about this one. We've talked fires before on here and we get to do it again. But anyways, if you want to just introduce yourself here, tell everybody who you are and kind of like a little bit of your experience with fires, and then we'll just roll from there, my man.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, my name is Ray Wheeler. I'm from the Mescalero Apache tribe and Nez Perce tribe. I grew up in Mescalero. We started out, we had which was called the Mescalero Red Hats, which is now called the Mescalero Apache Hot Shots. We had engine crews, Type 2 crews, Mescalero Helitack, which I was involved with as well. But I started out as a Type 2 firefighter and quickly learned, got onto the Helitack crew, which was another base, a whole another ball game to fighting major fires and getting into know all the management stuff, and then after that, I just joined in with the Mescalero Apache Hot Shots, which is they're no longer exists right now, but there was a great crew. I know a lot of great soups that I worked under.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So you mentioned heli attack crew.
Yes, Helitac crew.
Yeah. So what is that exact? I have my idea is that I'm thinking in my head as you rode in on helicopters into these fires, and I don't know if I'm anywhere near correct.
Correct. So basically, Mescalero Health, like any Helitac crew, it consists of at least 10 to 12 people. So basically, we help ship and firefighters up to certain spots where they can't reach. We have a certain person that goes in and gives them a safety on the helicopter, incidents that can happen, and get weights and make sure that the pilot can fly as much weight as we can to get them up to the fire as close as possible. And then we also help them tie up the Bambi bucket, which helps drop water on the fires as needed.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of crazy because I'm thinking here is the wind, because fires generate their own wind,
Absolutely,
especially the big ones.
It's pretty intense once you think about how, like, because all that firefighting is about field topography and behavior. So like you never know, cause like there's different spots of the mountain. Like it has more timber, more shrub, and different fields that are burning. And it cut. So basically, at what they're called red flag warnings. They have up to, I think, 25 to 30. They won't let anybody fly.
Oh,
Tankers or because you can't take a helicopter or cannon because it'll go in and that certain wind will come off the mountain and they'll shoot up. So like there's quite a bit of stuff to, like, when you get really in depth with firefighting, you get like a good 3 or 4 months of training before you actually get out and start doing all this stuff.
oh wow.
Wow. That's yeah, fire, the one thing I've learned, and you're like the second person we've talked to about wildland firefighting, is like my first impression was it was just a lot of hard work. You just go out and kind of like fight the fire, but there's a lot more into this, like even more than what I thought originally, which is crazy. So
Oh,
4 months of training, like that's pretty good.
So you really want to be physically fit because you can't just go out there and, like, hey, put a 45-pound pack on and carrying a shovel or a Pulaski with you. As soon as you jump on that line, you're punching line. No ifs, ands, or buts, throwing logs, throwing trees. The sawyer's cut first. So, and you're just constantly digging. I mean, like, a couple times we were out there, it was like spent 2 weeks spiked out on the mountain up here in Washington. It was pretty intense. And you get off that mountain, you're like, hey, what's going on? Because back in the day when I was doing it, we didn't have cell phones, laptops, drones, the whole work. We had was like, we get off the mountain and we had a little prepaid phone cards.
Oh
Like,
wow.
hey, you know what I mean? Like, hey, how's it going back at home? What's everybody up to? But it's all changed now. Like, you've got to be physically fit, mentally there. You can't have any like issues back at home because, like, you're gone for certain times. You never know. You gotta keep your head on straight, make sure you're right up here before you take off with them.
What was
How
the
long?
longest you were like out fighting the fire without being in touch back home?
I say about 25 days.
25 days.
That's a whole month.
Yeah,
God.
it was great though, because like as soon as we got done, we were up in Washington. So this happened. I forget what year it was. This is when that engine got burned over with the 3 young kids in it, and we got the phone call. We were down in New Mexico, and like we got there, like there was like maybe like 6 hot shot crews. We just got one of those big Boeing jets, loaded it up. They gave us like the first red carpet treatment. They're like, hey, get on this plane, let's go. They flew us out there, and we remember sleeping on the bus. And then I woke up and we started hiking up above where that burn happened. And then that's when that 25 days happened. And then after that, they shipped us down to Oregon. Had 2 days at Lincoln City, which was that was my first time from before I even moved up here.
Oh,
It
cool.
was kind of cool.
It's
Yeah,
crazy in a small world, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So what's it like? because you were in New Mexico, you guys get the call. They're like, listen, there's a fire in Washington. You guys are going. Like, how is it quick from the moment that phone call happens to Washington? Or I'm trying to figure out how quick you're moving.
So basically, like we get like there's a fire that blows up. Like here in Oregon, he's gonna start blowing. What they do is like Boise, where the main agency is at. They ship out everything. Like start putting out um, orders, resource orders for people, and then they got everybody's. We got different regions. So like I'm from Region 3. We got Region 6. We know all the regions around here. So like they got like it's whoever's on the board, they'll have like Smoky Bear hot shots, Mescalero Apache hot, Sacramento hot shots. They're like, hey, these guys are all available. We have New Mexico is really wet. Their fire danger is low. I need some type 1 teams up there. So they put us like that. Hey, we'll get the phone call. We'll either be working or we'll be on our day off, and then we'll have we had pagers back then. Like that would go off, you know. It's like beep beep. We have to call the forestry and like, hey, we got a call. We got 30 minutes to be at 35 to 45 minutes to be up there, because we already have our bags already packed up there. Like everything's already packed.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably have to have that go bag.
Oh yeah, it's called a 2-week bag. So you have like just the basic, your extra set of clothes and extra set of shoes and a sleeping bag.
Oh, wow,
that's about it.
So when you're living out of that bag, because I know when you're in the fire camps themselves, you're treated kind of fairly. They got the food, the people working especially in the bigger camps. But when you're kind of on your days off and in between fires and those camps aren't going on, are you living off that that 2-week bag?
No. So basically, we have like a extra set of clothes, like tennis shoes, and then some running shorts or something. If like we go like down to the beach or something, but we're not really living out of it unless like they're keeping us a little longer, because they have like the whole setup over there. They have food, laundry, showers, commissary, telephones, and just like other resources stuff to like if you need to get some stuff, you know.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we get occasional trip to Walmart, which is any hotshot go like, hey, let's go to the Walmart. We get some more stuff. The best thing we ever got was like the small canned goods, like the sardines, the Spam, cans of chili. Those are the best things to put on the fire, because you're like sitting by the fire. You just put a can of beans or something, chili on the side by that fire, and you got something to eat.
Yeah. Oh, it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that stuff's real nice to have.
Mark did a whole trip where they ate beans off of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff there.
Oh, yeah, it was a blast. Beans and carrots is basically all we had, at least for like a week. We didn't plan well.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, but they like living out of those when we were at the fires. They had the food that had we had 2 hot meals and the sack lunch every day, so they really took care of us really well.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah. How did you get into firefighting?
Oh, my dad, he was involved in it, and I wanted to go along that line, and that wildland firefighting. I wanted to do structure, but we didn't really have too much structure around,
Okay,
where I grew up, because we lived in where I live at was 7,900 something feet.
Oof.
Yeah, and that was full of timber too. So
yeah, it was on fire a lot, I bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of the mountains and a lot of terrain that I never thought I'd be in.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
I bet.
With all that traveling, I guess I'm curious, like what were some of your favorite, like, because you do go to some beautiful places up in the mountains.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite places? And like, I guess, was there any remote places that, like you can only get there backcountry way?
Oh yeah. I've been to Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Minnesota. You have to wear one of those nets because they had a bunch of flies, It was like,
Oh, wow.
But I was kind of jealous of my younger brother. He got to go to Alaska. That was one of my trips when I never got to get on as a hotshot, or hell attack either. But but I've been all over the Northwest, the Southwest, all up Wyoming, North Dakota, and all that stuff.
Oh
It was
wow.
fun, good travels, you know.
How many years?
About 8 or 9.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a that's a good amount of time firefighting, and that's just like the fire season, right?
Yeah, so basically your fire season is pretty much the whole summer, but like if you never know because a couple times we ended up in Tennessee and um, Kentucky out there. They have like their what do you call their little fires out there in the rolling hills. But it was kind of cool. I never thought about how fighting fire out there because it's a bunch of oak, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get out there and they're like, "Yeah, you don't need your chainsaws." They handed us 4 leaf blowers that were in front, and they had 4 people instead of the chainsaws. The 4 people up front would just like blast out the leaves to the sides, and all we would do is just punch the line and reassure it and back burn it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a whole. It's pretty crazy how some parts of the different states how they fight fire. You know,
what other ways have you seen? I guess that's different.
in Florida, like I was watching them. All they do is they take those tractors because there's a bunch of tundra stuff, you know, out there. Just take a tractor and then all they do is just burn it, and we sit there and watch it, make sure it doesn't jump the line.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
So
Yeah, I
when
say
you're
same with Alaska. Alaska, my brother was telling me that they did because like the ground they put the chainsaw down, then they cut out dirt or the little branches or whatever. I forget
oh
what
yeah,
it feels down there, but they cut that out, and that's how they do it up there.
oh
huh.
yeah, I bet because it's probably some of it's like pretty frozen kind of
Yeah, pretty in but a field up there.
That permafrost or whatever they
Oh
call it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
forget the name of that stuff up there, but it's
Yeah.
something else. It's a you get to learn a lot of once you get out and see a different topography and feel that's in different states. You know,
Was there any favorites?
I say pretty much. I was up here at Washington Lake Chelan. Up
Okay.
here, we was up on Lake Chelan one time. And they kept taking us on a boat back and forth from the lake
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
to the fire to the camp to the fire to the camp. It was pretty fun.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
I mean, going to work,
yeah.
yeah,
Hey, we're getting a boat ride today,
right,
guys.
yeah. Well, I bet that's pretty because I mean, a lot of those areas in Washington are,
Oh,
those national parks aren't really, the North Cascades,
yeah.
Olympic, Rainier. They're kind of hard to get to, so people don't
Hmm.
like Rainier, but
Yeah, it's like Montana too. Like some of that stuff out there, like you never know. You'd be sitting in Missoula, and all of a sudden you're sitting on the back of a ski area. Like, oh man, look, there's Canada. You know, like
yeah,
I was up in Browning. We was fighting a fire up towards Browning.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow,
Really?
you've really been everywhere for this.
Yeah. Oh man, it's something else if you're young and you're single and you're good to go. But if you're
Yeah, I bet.
yeah, because like because like you're just constantly you can spend the whole summer just working, and then 4 times up, you can go be a ski bum or work a chairlift. You know.
Yeah. Is that kind of is that what you did in your non-fire season? Did you go work the ski lifts and stuff? Or
No, actually, it was one of the person that was picked to help thin out the forest on the reservation. So
oh,
I could go to help thin out like some plots, and then we do like control burns, burn piles and stuff. You know,
oh, so you're
from
like a real pyro.
yeah, just and then those old logging piles. You know, we go out there and just burn those and watch those with the engine.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I got to use a chainsaw, right? My
Yeah.
first time I ever picked up a chainsaw, and I was type 2, and we got these green shaps, right? They're chainsaw, and I was like tired, and I put it down and I forgot to click my safeguard off, and I boom tap my shafts, and everybody looks at me and he's like, "Hey, those are brand new shafts," and I had a little cut about this long on my shafts, and I was like, "Geez, that will never happen again."
You got to break them in though. It's like putting
Oh
that first
yeah,
dent in your car. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh,
what's it like at the end of the season? you've been fighting fires all summer long. Are you like, is there just like a final moment of relief where you're like, "Ah, I can like breathe and relax," or are you kind of missing the action?
Oh, there's like a little sigh of relief, but then again, you always got to remember California burns. You're always no ifs ands or buts. We always end up in California towards August, September,
Oh wow.
October, and it's all shrub out there, and you're just like I was hiking around. We were hiking around and up and down in California.
Do you get close to the cities down there?
Oh no, we send us like as soon as we get there, we'll fly into like Redding. Where else? There's San Bernardino, San Diego. Just all the forests all the way up. We've been to every forest up there.
Oh wow.
But
Wow.
it's great seeing sequoias though.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
But like it's
Do you
like I
see
said.
this? You see the
Huh?
sequoias burn?
Oh no, they
Oh,
that's kind of cool. I don't see those burn too much, but there's some that like the tops burn. So they have what they call a sea faller, which is I forget the diameters that they can cut down those big sequoias. So this chain, I forget I used to have a picture of it, but this thing was like this bar was taller than me, and I was
oh
like,
wow.
geez.
Dang,
Wow.
that's crazy. That
I
would be
think that would be kind of cool to see one of those big trees on fire, but like also not.
Oh.
Like it'd be like, oh, that's awesome to see, but not awesome because it's happening.
yeah.
Oh,
So you've mentioned a couple times that you were a type 2. If you could kind of describe the types, the different like what exactly type 2 means.
So basically, a Type 2 firefighter is just the beginning of your. It's like an introduction to wildland firefighting. So like, hey, I can hike, I can carry something. Hey, so basically, a Type 2 firefighter does the basic. Like, hey, so you got your Type 2 firefighter and your Type 1 firefighter. Your Type 1 firefighter is a hot shot, and your Type 2 is just your basic firefighter that goes in, which we call, as most people who's been a hot shot, like someone like, yeah, I'm a Type 2 firefighter. Oh, you're a mop shot. So we call a mop shot is what they go do is they go and clean up our mess that we make in there.
Ah,
But we don't, but they do good work. You know what I mean? They go in there and like just refurbish once the fire's out, they'll go in, like recover the line, make it look like there's no one there, you know?
oh,
so
yeah, yeah.
I guess we talked about the fire line before, but I'm sure we have other listeners that don't necessarily know what the fire line is. Um, I know Mark and I know it. Could you explain? I guess could you explain what that is and because from my understanding, it's just almost like a 6 inch to 18 inch like hole in the ground all the way around the fire.
So basically, it depends on your field and your topography, you know, because like you can punch the biggest line, and then all you're doing is trying to get to the dirt. And then if you have like another, if you get a good sized line in there, and then your canopy, you want to open up the canopy. If you open up that canopy, it eliminates the fire from traveling up top above you. And then if it goes to the top of you, that line down below is worthless. Because
You know, I've actually always thought that. I was like, why did they focus on the ground when it could easily just kind of hop above? So I'm actually super happy to hear that.
so basically, that's what so we got the superintendent, and then you got four sawyers. So you got four chainsaws just going up in front of us, and they got two swamper for each person. So they're just laying down, opening up that canopy for us up on top, you know, just spreading it out. And they're like, hey, because we got like every morning we get a briefing from the fire team that's up there on the fire. Like, hey, this is where you guys are punching line. This is what kind of fuel you're dealing with, and this is how big the line I want. As soon as you guys get it done, we're gonna start back burning. We'll wait till the evening because it's the best time to fight fire with fire is in the evening.
Oh,
But the line is basically once you open up that canopy, you have the last of your crew, about 12 people, just punching to the dirt. So you're trying to get as much dirt out as you can. You're trying to eliminate all the fuel so it doesn't burn over your line.
okay. So is that what backburning is? It's like from the line to where the fire is?
Yes.
Okay.
So you got your fire. So where the line is built, you do one strip right here, and then you have people with the little water bags, let it burn a little bit, burn it out, do another strip, let it burn it out. As soon as it gets a little wider and wider, until you got this black, a good size, about a good 25 yards of black line in there. Then you just go with those drip torches and the flare guns and everything, just start popping them off in there,
Okay.
and you just let it off because like it won't burn anything because you already got everything that's burnt already. It'll just tie in with it. And
Yeah.
plus the wind is in your favor wherever you're at back burning. So that's the whole key of like weather, being and fire behavior that night.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I just saw something. There's like a big fire out here in the. I know it's in the west here, but they were saying it's so big it's like creating its own weather.
Yeah, that's the bootleg fire here in Southern Oregon. I was watching it. Well, actually, yeah. And last year, that one that happened up here by Detroit Lake was kind of intense too, because I was out camping before that, like about a month ago. And my first reaction, I still have it in me. I go out and just grab a piece of stick and break it, and just like I see it crumble in my hand. I was like, it's gonna be dry. I wish they would say something and put the restriction on campfire, but it was already too late. It blew up, and like I was telling Joni, I was like, man, this is gonna burn pretty bad up here because there's no uh, fuel management where they go in and like, hey, we got this crew come in and clean up all the brush underneath so as to carry all the way up and take off. That's what happens is if you have that fuel underneath the timber, it's gonna take off like a matchstick.
Oh yeah, I bet.
You know what I mean?
And
Yeah,
that's
I've thought they haven't been as serious on these fire restrictions around here because I see the fire danger, and my first thought is it probably should be extreme, but I'm only seeing like high or very high.
Yeah. Well, I think pretty much all of Oregon now is under extreme due to this whole big fire and stuff. They quit campfires and stuff, but I'm pretty sure everywhere else in the Northwest is pretty much going to extreme here shortly.
yeah.
Because
No, I feel
I was looking
that.
at the weather and it's going to be dry for the next week and a half or so still. So
It's just been hot. It's been a hot summer.
yeah,
Everything's on fire. And you brought up a good point. Is management, forest management, and it's actually shocking the amount of forests that aren't managed properly.
hmm
Like you talk about the fuel building up and burning up in places, and not doing the controlled burns. And I don't understand why they're not doing that.
yeah. Well, I mean, this it's a different funding, like different. You got Forest Service, you got Bureau of Land Management, and you got a Park Service, and you got BIA, and then you know what I mean. Like there's different fundings for different interagencies, so it's just hard,
Yeah,
Who do you think? What agency do you think manages the best?
BLM,
BLM.
Land Management. So like you get a fire in a Forest Service, they'll let it burn for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it takes off, and then here you got a pretty good sized fire going.
Yeah.
oh, interesting. I didn't know that they kind of let it burn a little bit.
Well, like you can, like you said, there'd be in an area that's in a remote area, and then they're like keeping an eye on it, like.
Yeah,
But then again, all of a sudden you get one day the wind picks up out of nowhere, and it's pretty much
Yeah. Right.
sayonara for a little bit, and then until they get a hold of like a team in there. But it's good, like I don't even know if they still have people in the fire those towers that like sit up there every day and just look through
oh
smokes.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I know. Actually, I think like some of them here, kind of like Southwest Oregon. Um,
hmm
some of them you can like hike up to and just that's like where you camp. They're like the
Yeah,
chalets and stuff. Um,
yeah. It's just it's hard, You can't stop anybody from going and camping, and all of a sudden they don't put their fire out properly, and you got some big issues after that.
yeah, or kids shooting fireworks off.
Oh boy. I was really nervous about those fireworks here.
I was too. I was,
Yeah.
You guys had some weird restrictions with the fireworks. Then they pulled them off the shelves, but they let people buy them ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, I think it rained a couple of days before that, and then they allowed the bigger ones, the artillery shell ones, go off. But it's hard, like you just hope for the best that someone doesn't shoot it off in the wrong area where it's dry.
I mean, and I look at it, it's just money blowing up. You
Yeah.
spent $20 on the fireworks to watch it go.
Hmm.
Not even 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. No, I remember growing up, we had a firework, and like where my parents live, there's a big kind of field in front. There's really nothing other than grass and like some fence. So like we kind of got lucky with this, but we shot like a bottle rocket, and then that whole field just, I mean, like real quick turned into
Mhm.
like just a fire, and you could see afterwards this giant like ring of where the fire had all been. But I mean, what was nuts about it is it was 0 to 100 real quick, and I mean small scale because it was such a innocent little field and everything. But
Mhm.
I mean, I know fires can snap.
Oh yeah. It's I was telling you, it's all about the once you get out there, just feel the ground or the grass, and if it's dry, you'll know just how dry it is out there. Even the trees right now, like you go out to the branches and you see the color of the leaves already turning a different color because it's so hot, and like some of these trees aren't used to the heat.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's nuts, and we don't realize too that when we have these fires and we put the smoke in the sky, we burn more land up. How it changes even the weather and affects on a global scale.
Hmm. And then after that, you never know if it like up here, because that fire last year that happened up by Detroit, it kind of flooded a little bit, and it um, it's kind of another dangerous thing because it starts contaminating the rivers and stuff. All that ash and burnt stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's the Northwest, so you never know after this maybe like a couple months and that fire's under control, and then starts raining really heavily. Then you got another situation on your hand.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially with the loose ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you could just like, what was kind of like a typical, like the most average day you had? What were you doing from the moment you kind of woke up to going every day-to-day things to the end of the day? What was your day like?
So every day, every morning, when we were the hell attacker, either with the hot shots, we were running 6 miles every day before we started our shift.
Wow.
And then and then after that we get out our wait for our soup to give us a plan what we're doing today, where we're gonna sit, and just in case if we were not on a fire assignment, we'd be out on the res patrolling, or we'd be doing some chainsaw or some practice on building line, or practicing getting under our fire shelters. And then after that, we get home, say about 6 o'clock. Sometimes it depends on the weather too. Like if we got red flag warnings, like hey, we're gonna keep you guys on until 8 at night. We'll stay on till 8, and then 8 comes around. We're like, all right, we'll call it a day, go home, eat, and then if we get that pager going off, and we're heading right back up.
Yeah.
So we're always our toes there, just waiting for that call. But like any person that's been on the shop crew is like, hey, it smells like money out there. But I don't like to put it that way because like there's a lot of forest burning and a lot of pretty country burning up.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I mean, it is, and what's nice is the paycheck. If people are interested in getting into the fire business, it does
Yeah.
pay well.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's a good summer job if you're want to get out and travel different, because that's how I traveled.
Right? Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. You've been everywhere, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, it was good times.
You know what that means? Time for another commercial break. where we get to tell you to like, subscribe, and review our podcast. Whether you're getting that podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, WhatsApp, whatever podcast app you use, you can make it happen.
And don't forget, this is also the time to let you guys know that you can pick up that Wandering Ways swag at the Teespring. Make sure to check it out. The link is in the bio down below or in the episode description. It's even in the show description too if you can't find it in the episode. But you can go on there. You can get your sweatshirts. You can get your shirts. You can get long sleeves, short sleeves. You can even get some socks. It looks pretty cool. Highly recommend. You will be impressing everybody at your next bonfire with some Wandering Ways swag.
You know, and if that's not enough, we're going to tell you to follow us individually on our social medias. You could check me out at the Ruguru or Zach of Wandering Ways. You know, check out the adventure firsthand where there might not be any ads.
Exactly. And who doesn't like some good free pub? I need the followers to go up. So I'm going to throw out Reverend Marcus. Check me out on the Twitter, on the Instagram. I do some cool stuff. So please give me the follow. All right.
We also do not cool stuff.
Yeah. But anyways, let's keep wandering on. Alrighty, so we got a kind of a recurring segment on our podcast called Cool Shit in Nature. So before we kind of get going back into the interview, we're going to use this time to kind of just break it up and show something, some cool shit in nature. So I got the video today, and I think it's, you know, it's kind of my realm of what I normally do and kind of not. But anyways, here's the video. It's just a nice little old bear chilling next to the side of the river there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big boy.
Yeah, it's a big bear. That was my first thought too. And then he's just looking in the water and bam, gets that fish.
Wow. And that water's moving.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
It's actually really impressive how he did that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's cool shit in nature right there.
Oh, exactly. That's how you get out and survive, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I thought that was a good one. The way I would love watching bears fish. I've been fortunate enough to see it a few times, and it's really cool because each one's like unique. Everyone kind of has like a different style to getting the
Yeah.
fish.
It's because they're unique creatures like us humans are unique.
That's right. Get out and be
Wait, down in Mescalero, you guys have a lot of black bears. Isn't that actually where Smokey the Bear is
yes,
from?
it was Capitan, New Mexico, which I about an hour and 20 minutes was an hour and 20 minutes away from.
Yeah.
We fought a lot of fires up in those Capitan Mountains.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, and that was some good steep country too. Like this was like this is where we had a lot more pine, and we were dealing with the pine cones and needles where we had slip, you know, because like once it gets wet, a little bit of wet, and because they're dropping that slurry retardant, which is pretty slick, and they got helicopters dumping water too, so. So we got those nice fire boots that you pay like $400, $500 for now these days because they really take care of your ankles, you know.
Oh yeah. I wonder if Jordan's got a pair of.
I don't think those will be be good on fire.
Do you ever get hit with the retardant or anything when you're?
Oh yeah, we got many a times we like come back and it's like we're all just like. Because we had yellow shirts and red helmets, and we just turned kind of pink on us, you know.
Oh, okay.
It was like a little it was like some kind of gel at first, but then it turns into powder. But it's good for it washes away when it rains and stuff too, you know.
That's nice. I've heard that you had a fire jump you actually.
Yes, I was in I was on Utah. I was stationed there with a helitack crew from Alaska. So I was up there for 3 months, right? And we's over just we stayed in Salt Lake, but we had a Forest Service rig that they gave us, and we drove down, and it's called Chihuahua, Utah. And then that fire was about good 30 minutes south of us. So we went in there, and then my buddy was the my supervisor at that time from Alaska. He drove us down in there, and we watched that fire burn. It took off, and then the wind shift changed on us, and it came back around.
Oh,
And so what we had to do was we jumped inside of our van and drove into the black, which is our escape route. Where like any fire, you go back into the black because it's already, it's already burnt.
Yeah.
But it was intense. It's no joke. It's like a hurricane coming at you with no water. The winds, that flame, and you can just hear it just blowing through you. It's all. But it was something else. I'll never never take my eye off the weather or anything, because once you're out there, that weather can shift on you quick.
yeah. When it does shift, I mean, is it like, and it's coming at you? Was that a quick thing, or were you able to see it and then go like, okay, like kind of ease into it?
It was kind of like like a good quick. It was like a quick shift because like we're sitting there and like because they do weather every 30 minutes if you're on a fire, and it's like, hey, but like if you're on a shop crew, we do it like every 15 minutes. Just getting the RH, the wind, and then how the smoke is looking,
Yeah.
like we always look at a fire by the smoke. It's really light gray, it's really small, but once it turns black at the bottom, that thing's gone.
Oh, really?
Taking off. Yeah. If you ever look at a fire plume, you'll just see it. It'll start like just that's gray, black at the bottom, and it'll turn white up on top. It's dealing with a lot of fuel that's burning up under that fire right there.
So what are you like looking for? Like what what's the smoke doing, or what's the when you're watching these changes?
Oh, so basically, like if you see like anything, like someone will be on the fire line already, and like, hey, we just got a wind shift. Hey, keep it down. And like then they'll start because we have divisions. They have different divisions on a fire, and then one would be Division A up here, Division B over here, and Division A is like, hey, the wind just shift up here. You guys feel any wind shift down here? Division B, they're like, oh yeah, it's starting to come towards us. Then they'll be like, okay, let's back everybody up a little bit into their escape route, and then see what happens. And then they'll get a forecast through the weather, because they have people down at the incident command center down there where they have like people that check the weather on the internet, and then local forecasters, because you never know, because you be punching line and all of a sudden you just like feel the wind just come towards you, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, wait, something's going on here. We got to make sure, because like there's between you, the fire, and then there's more brand new fuel right behind you,
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that is. And you're pretty close to the fire when you're on the line.
Yes. It depends on how far they put us in and how far. If like you're flanking it, they'll put us in that like towards the point of origin where it happened. We'll start trying to flank it, and if we can't flank it, we'll pull back and we'll start back off a little bit and start punching line the other way, or we'll do an escape route just to get another starting point, to make sure which way the fire is going.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Plus you have like a different equipment too, like just like I said, depending on topography, like you have bulldozers with rippers on the back that can go down the hill and just drag their rippers so their dozers and take off from them. So they help punch line in, and then that helps out too, because then like it eliminates like a different us doing a little bit more harder work,
Yeah, I bet that's very helpful. Did you notice, because I mean you fought fires pretty much all over the lower 48, did you notice certain areas, I don't know if this is the correct way to say this, like burned better than others, other areas? Like, is there a part of the country that's just, it goes quick? Other places it's like a slow burn?
It depends, like I said, California goes quick because it's a bunch of shrub. But like if you really want a quick moving fire, which is probably up in the northwest, because like it crowns out really quick because most of the fuel is up top, and all
Oh,
down is just like the berry bushes and shrub that doesn't really burn that bad. But like, so if you notice up here in Oregon, you go by some of the old burned areas, you look at the trees. There's still a lot of trees still standing because they've been crowned out. Like if you go down to like the Southwest or like they'll burn straight. Those little trees are done.
okay, yeah. I have noticed that while driving around here in Oregon. And I've always kind of wondered how these things just end up staying.
Yeah. So it's like I said, like it's like some places they'll have like where they'll crown out and just burn the tops, and that's it. And then other than that, like down in the shrubs or the small junipers, they'll just take off and just burn completely.
I guess that's how you can tell when they cut those rings, right, in
Yeah.
trees. I guess like that was a fire year because it
Yeah.
burned the ring that way.
hmm So that's the whole line. Like now, like if you go look up that bootleg fire and you see them like a dozer or something punching line, and then you got a hot shot crew doing the back burn behind them. So there's basically that dozers putting in that line, making it easier, and then they start burning back burning for that to fight fire. So
So I assume like if you have a bulldozer, you could do an ATV too, essentially in some.
oh yeah. So basically, you can take an ATV with a drip torch and just ride along the whole fire line.
That'd be fun.
Just got to have an engine behind you because they got your different size engines out there that you can, what I mean, different types of engines that have different size gallon tanks on them.
Oh,
So, what's the biggest enemy when you're out there fighting the fires? Is it the fire itself, the landscape, the topography, or is it the weather?
Pretty much all above. Cause like, because you never know, I mean, like the landscape, the topography, and then the fire behavior. Because like some people will have like I have like maybe like 15 guys in front of me hiking, and a loose rock comes out and it starts rolling down the hill. You don't just you wait for it to come and then you dodge it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like there's that, and then you have a topography which is steep, and you're like sitting there and you don't want to get hit. Then you start rolling down the hill. That's another. So it's like there's a lot into it whenever you get out there.
wow.
That's why they have those people that go out and map it out, and you're just like,
Makes sense. It makes sense.
Wow. There's a lot that goes into it. When you said your dad has been doing it, he still is doing it?
yes, he's still fighting fire as we speak. He's in Idaho right now on the engine.
How
Yeah,
long? So how long has that been going on?
jeez. Well, he retired because he used to do I forget what it was called, scale the timber logs or logging logs, and then he was doing that, and then he would sometimes be help out and take out fire crews, and then he retired from the government, and then this time he's just doing like basic an engine that's under contract.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
sure, it's pretty good. He's doing good. He's still hiking, still passing his pack test. So
That's crazy.
that's crazy because like uh, back in the day we had to run, was it a mile and a half under 11, wait, I think it was a mile under 11 minutes.
With
Under
45 pounds on?
no, that now it's the pack test, which is 45 minutes under 45, I think.
Oh, okay. So just a normal fitness test was running the mile in 11.
hmm
Okay.
Under 11 minutes.
Huh.
So that was like what, 6 laps?
Yeah.
You gotta be really quick.
Yeah, you gotta move. You definitely
Yeah,
can't.
because that like you said, I mean, like that fire can come at you real quick, and you're just you got two clips, one here and one here. Boom, drop it and start running. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you ever have any of those encounters?
no,
Oh gosh, that would be crazy.
no, not at all. I'm glad for my soups back in the day was uh, Gary Hidley and then Leland Pellman. So they're good guys that took care of us, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually just wondering if you had any kind of real scary moments out there.
Mm, sometimes like at night when we're like at night you just hear like trees falling, so you
Oh,
don't know which way they're falling. So we're sleeping on the line, you know, and it's like, and you hear like big rocks rolling down a hill or something, and you're like, so they put us on a certain, like our soup would go scout out everything where we're gonna take a break and get a little bit of shut eye before we make sure that it's safe for us to be where we're at, you know.
Wow.
yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Mark's like, I see Mark. He's like, how come fire season isn't like early spring to late to midsummer? Because that's when his days are off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I have a little bit more time. I've thought about it. With the COVID-19 here, I was questioning a lot of things in life, and firefighting came up as an option of trying to maybe do it. But I'm fortunate I found a job so that I enjoy. So
Yeah.
it's off the table for now.
But it's something. But like I was telling you, physically fit and like now um like sometimes I feel it in my ankles or knees because like you got weight on you and you're going through rocky areas, slippery slopes, you know, and stuff like that. And it's not fun sometimes, you know. But it was good though. Once we got off the line, we would sit there and celebrate, you know,
Oh, I bet.
chatting to each other and good jokes, you know.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet when after you've been on the line for a while coming off, and I mean everyone probably says go get a beer, but I'm sure like just a Gatorade when you're back home is
Oh yeah,
just as refreshing.
we get Gatorade and iced tea or some water, you know. But it was never like that for us back then. We always did drink a beer on our own time, our own R&R, because like we want to look professional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
Keep
yeah, no,
everything
I bet.
professional out there, right? Because we that's our name on our back and our hats, you know, and we don't want to be one smelling like booze and hey man, go back out there. No, professional. We got to keep it professional, you know.
So is that something that I guess is taken seriously? The more professional your crew is, the more fires you'll get called to and stuff.
Oh, it's just your reputation because like it's word of mouth, you know, like any kind of business or any kind of job or whatever you're doing, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything's word of mouth. Like, hey, did you hear about this cruise? And just goes down the chain.
Well, and we kind of talked about this with Andrew a little bit, but I've noticed there's a lot of native hotshot crews.
Oh yeah,
That I guess it goes back to historically. A lot of natives have always just been fire.
yeah. Like our my tribe, they had the Mescalero Red Hats, which was really known really well throughout firefighting, and they kind of like then it just grew in. Other generations took it over, and it became Mescalero Apache Hotshots because it became a interagency. All hotshots are interagency now.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Yeah, so like you can go to interagency and like, hey, I got a hotshot crew up here available. You want to use them and take them, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
Hey, I've got to be that guy as I always am. We're getting to the end of our time limit here today. But at the end of all of our episodes, we have a thing called our final words. It's where you can literally kind of say anything you want. Since you are our guest today, Ray, we'll let you go first. You can literally say anything you want. You can say, shout out people. You can give a nice little PSA about something. If you have a poem you've written, you're totally welcome to read a poem on it. But it's literally anything you want. The floor is yours, though.
all right, yeah. I just want to hopefully I can play a little bit of video. I lost my younger brother Harry. He was with the Mescalero Hotshots, the Geronimo Hotshots, and the Navajo Hotshots, and he recently passed a couple of years ago. And want to give a shout out to all those crews, all the interagency crews, native crews, everybody out there doing work. Guys, keep up good work and stay safe. And I just wanted to play this video, let you guys hear it.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Masquerade dispatch to Harry Bear Wheeler Jr. This is the last call for Harry Bear Wheeler Jr., who served many years on the Mescalero hotshot crew and as a wildland firefighter for the Force. On behalf of the Mescalero Apache community, it is with deep sadness and sorrow Harry Bear Wheeler has completed his last and final call. He has returned home to watch his family, friends, and fellow firefighters. He will forever be in our hearts. Safe until we meet again.
Oh man, that was hard. It was like a
Oh yeah.
he always out hiked me a lot, and he was really good, and he did a lot more than I did in firefighting. But I appreciate you guys having the opportunity for letting me play that, and I'm glad I got to talk to you guys and chit chat. And I really hope everybody stays safe out in the line and get your miles in. We didn't have those watches back then where we can take check our mileage on our.
Right. No,
Because we pretty much, our boots, we put a lot of miles on those boots.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure you probably.
well,
Yeah.
now and elevation.
Yeah.
Like people don't take that serious, but those elevation that gets you
Mhm.
sometimes. Those stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, but Montana, Idaho, man, that was tough country.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
bet.
yeah.
I
Hey, I
bet.
appreciate you guys letting me get the opportunity to chit chat with you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Final word, Zach.
Yeah, no, I definitely be smart, everybody. Don't start fires. It's not good to have. I can't stress that out. We need to manage our forest better, and we are the ones where it begins. You know, we pick up our trash, we make sure our fires are put out, we do everything that we're supposed to do. We won't start fires. It's the guy who disregards the rules, that drives his motorbike up a road where it's like, hey, can't do that. He's trying to fix a spark plug and starts a fire.
Yep.
You can't do that.
Mm-mm.
You can't launch fireworks in the dry season because it's going to start a fire. And it goes quick. We talked about that today. So just be smart. But, you know, at the same time, too, if you're wanting to get a job fighting fires, go do it. Chase a dream. Chase a mountain. Climb a mountain or two.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Reverend's final words of wisdom today. I just want to say first, thank you to Ray for coming on today. This was an absolute pleasure. I enjoyed every minute of our interview today. You had some great stories. One, thank you for doing it. You know, it's a tough job for people to do in general. Shout out to everybody who is a firefighter that's listening, and thank you for doing it. You know, I don't know how many of you guys get thanked or how often it is, but it's probably not enough. Otherwise, it'd be a lot more barren land. So I just got to say thank you for doing everything. You know, go out, be smart. I saw a funny shirt. It was Smokey the Bear on it. It said, only you can prevent firefighters. And then at the bottom it said, no, seriously, because we're defunded. So but, you know, everyone stay beautiful. And that being said, I mean, just peace out, everybody.
Bye.